All right, hey everyone. So for this deep dive, we're going to be looking at adding text to your Python drawings.
And that's like the next step, right? I mean, you can draw all these cool shapes, circles, rectangles, and lines, but then you got to add, some words to it.
Exactly. Like what if you want to make like a title for your drawing?
Oh, yeah. Or like, if you're doing like a comic strip or something, you need your characters to like have speech bubbles.
Right. Or even just like labeling different parts of a diagram.
Totally. So we've been digging through these awesome resources on Python drawing and this whole text label thing that's like a core skill. And it opens up a ton of possibilities, for creativity and stuff.
Okay, cool. So where do we even begin? How do we get text to like show up on our canvas?
All right. So the magic command here, it's called label.
Label.
And it's similar to those commands you've been using to draw shapes, but instead of like making a circle or rectangle, it puts text on your screen.
Okay, that makes sense. So when we use this label command, what do we have to tell Python?
So there are three main things. First, you got to tell it what text you want to display, like what words you want to see. That's what they call the value.
Value, okay.
And then you need to give it the X and Y coordinates, to tell it where to put the text.
Oh, right, like the position on the canvas?
Yeah, exactly. And those coordinates, they mark the center point of your label. So like the text is centered around that spot.
Gotcha. Center point. Makes sense.
And one more important thing, that value, the text you want to display it, has to be a string.
A string. Okay, I've heard that term before, but could you explain it again?
Sure. In Python, a string is just a sequence of characters, so letters, numbers, punctuation marks, anything you can type on your keyboard, basically. And you have to enclose it in quotes.
Quotes. All right, so like single quotes or double quotes?
Exactly. You can use either one. So hello or hello, both work.
Okay. Why are the quotes so important?
Well, because if you don't use quotes, Python gets confused. It might think you're trying to use a variable or something, and then you'll get an error.
An error? Oh, no.
Yeah, syntax error. Basically, Python is saying, hey, I don't understand what you're trying to do.
Right, right. So the quotes are like our way of saying, hey, Python, this is the exact text we want to display.
Exactly. Like, treat this literally.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So can you give us an example of how all this comes together?
Sure. Let's say you want to put the word hello on your drawing, and you want it centered at the coordinates, 200, 200.
All right.
So you would type label, hello, 200, 200.
Okay, that seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Now, what if we want to change the size of the text? Like make it bigger or smaller?
No problem. There's an argument for that, the size argument.
Size, all right.
It's optional, but it lets you control, how big or small the text is.
So how does it work? Can you show us some examples?
Yeah, sure. So let's say you want a small label. You could write something like little, small, 200, 100, size 10.
Okay, so we add size 10 at the end.
Yeah, and that'll shrink the text down. If you want a medium size, maybe you do. Label, medium, 200, 200, size 30.
Okay, I see. So a bigger number means bigger text.
Exactly. And if you want to go like really big, you can crank up that size. Like label large, 200, 300, size 120.
Yeah, wow, size 120, that would be huge.
Yeah, it'd be pretty big. But you can adjust that number, to get the size you want.
That's awesome. Now, I remember in the learning stuff, there was this activity where you had to adjust the size of the letter B to fit the canvas.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Do you remember what size they ended up using?
If I remember correctly, it was around 50, something like label B, 200, 200, size 50.
Okay, so size 50 for that. Interesting. Now, what about making our text bold or italic?
Oh, yeah, good point. We have the bold and italic arguments for that.
Bold and italic. All right.
And these are what we call Boolean arguments.
Boolean.
Yeah, they can be either true or false.
Oh, okay. So like on or off.
Exactly. So if you want bold text, you set bold to true, like this. Label, this is bold, 200, 150, size 36, bold true.
Bold true for bold. Got it.
And for italic, you do the same thing, but with italic. So label, this is italic, 200, 250, size 36, italic true.
So italic true makes the text like slanted.
Exactly. They even had a checkpoint question on that in the material, remember?
Oh, yeah, right, to make sure we were paying attention. Okay, so we can control the size. We can make it bold or italic. Can we also change the font? Like the actual style of the letters.
Yeah, absolutely. You can use the font argument for that. And there's actually a whole bunch of different fonts you can choose from.
Wow, really? What kind of fonts?
Well, you've got the classics, like Arial, which is very kind of, standard. Then there's monospace, where every letter takes up the same amount of space. That one's good for code, And then there are, like, more stylized ones.
Oh, cool. Like what?
You have fonts like caveat, Cinzel, cursive.
Cursive, like handwriting?
Yep.
Hmm.
Then there's Montserrat, Grenz, Sacramento, and Orbitron.
Wow, that's a lot of choices.
Yeah, you can really get creative with it.
So how do we actually use these fonts? Like, how do we tell Python which one we want?
Well, you just set the font argument to the name of the font you want as a string. So, for example, if you want to use Arial, you'd write label, this is Arial, 200, 125, size 36, font Arial.
Okay, so font Arial, and what about like Cinzel?
Same thing, but you replace Arial with Cinzel. So label, this is Cinzel, 200 unit size 36, font Cinzel.
Gotcha. And I assume it's the same for cursive and monospace and all the others?
Yep, exactly the same. Just make sure you put the font name in quotes, what we talked about earlier.
All right, quotes, check. It's cool that we have so many options. Like, you could use a different font for a title than you would for, like, the body text.
Totally. Or like a different font for each character in your comic strip.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Now, can we add color to our text?
Of course. We can use the fill argument for that.
Fill, just like with shapes.
Yep, same concept. You set the fill argument to the color you want as a string.
String again, okay. So, what if I want to make my text blue?
You'd write label, this is blue, 200, 150, size 36, fill blue.
Fill blue. Simple enough.
Yeah, and you can use all the regular color names like red, green, yellow, and so on.
Nice. Now, what about borders? Can we add outlines around the text?
Definitely. We use the border argument for that. Let's say you want a red border. You do. Label, this says a red border. 200, 250, size 36, fill, none, bordered.
Okay, so bordered. But wait, why does it say fill none?
Good catch. If we didn't set fill to none, the text would have a red border, but the inside would still be filled with whatever color we used before.
So we're basically making the inside of the letters transparent.
Exactly. So only the red border shows up.
That's a neat trick. I remember the learning material also mentioned gradients.
Oh yeah, gradients. They're pretty cool.
Can we use them for the fill?
Yeah, for sure. You use the gradient function. It's a bit more advanced, but basically you give it two colors and it creates a smooth blend between them. So something like label, this is a gradient, 200, 350, size 3-day 6, fill gradient blue.
So the text would go from blue to cyan.
Yep. It's a nice way to add some visual flair.
And what about if we want a gradient border but no fill?
Ah, another good one. You just set fill to none again, and then set border to your gradient, like border gradient, red, orange.
Cool. So, to recap, we've covered creating labels, changing their size, making them bold or italic, choosing different fonts, and adding colors, even gradients.
It's a lot, right? But once you get the hang of it, it's super powerful.
Yeah, I can already imagine all the things you could do with this. Like, you could make posters or signs or even design your own, like, game interface.
Exactly. Or, if you're into data visualization, you could add labels to your charts and graphs.
Oh, right. That would make them so much easier to understand. So, now that you, dear listener, have learned all these awesome text techniques, what will you create? Will you design a cool logo, a funny comic strip, or maybe an interactive story with colorful text and dialogue?
The possibilities are endless, so go out there, experiment, have fun, and keep learning.
And don't forget to share your creations with us. We love seeing what you come up with.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for this deep dive. See you next time.
See you later.